Thanks for tuning in to tonight's edition of the RENSHAW Report. Murray, I reporting from the city, too tough to die. New London. We got a big problem these days in New London because our nurses are on strike.
Healthcare workers.
Say it again?
We're the healthcare workers.
Healthcare workers, are on strike, and we all know how important they are to us, especially when you have a stint in hospital like I did. And I know how important they are, and so do most people out there that are listening to the show tonight. So tonight we're going to talk about the pending contract negotiations between L&M Hospital and the healthcare workers. And our guest tonight, on my right, Connie Fields, who's the president of Local 5123 of the AFT Connecticut, which represents 900 workers. Mm-hmm. And on her right is my best friend, George Menge's daughter, Susan Menge, who's on the negotiating team, and they're trying to bring this thing to a head and come up with a realistic figure and contract for the workers. So, Connie, I think you know that you have overwhelming community support.
I do.
And I'll speak for a lot of people out there in the community that I know that are supporting your efforts and your group. There's been a little bit of coverage in the day paper. You had the mayor try to get in the middle of the negotiations and bring some resolve, which didn't work. There was an editorial in the paper, which was very positive toward your workers, but doesn't seem like you're making any headway.
Correct.
How long has this thing been going on? Where are you now in the negotiations?
Well, it's been going on since May. We've been negotiating since May. The contract was due to end June 30th. But they only met 4 times. I don't know how they thought we could get a contract done in 4 meetings, but so it's been going on. There has been some delays on both parts, but we have bargained and requested what we need from the hospital to have a livable wage. And we're not on strike. We're just doing informational pickets right now.
When does the contract in place now expire?
It expired June 30th, but it goes on until somebody says, we want the contract to end. So our last meeting before we reached out to the mayor was December 20th. Mm-hmm. And that's when the hospital gave us their last best offer, which we found to be insulting as far as the wages. Currently the wage is $15 an hour. That's the minimum wage. And they only went up 50 cents. We are healthcare providers that take numerous learning modules every year, at least 20, at least. Sue probably takes almost 30 for what she does. She's a PCA. And for that type of learning on the job every year, re-educating, and for them to start people continuously at $15 or $15.50 is just not reasonable, nor is it a livable wage. We're not asking for something outrageous. We're asking to be able to live a livable wage for our area, and they're not affording us that at L&M Hospital.
Now, L&M Hospital is part of New Haven?
Yale New Haven Health System,
okay.
Correct.
And what are comparative wages to healthcare workers in other areas?
In other areas, so Sue is certified as a certified nurse assistant. Certified nurse assistants currently are getting anywhere from $18.65 to $22 an hour to start at nursing homes, at home health aides, and other locations. So we didn't find it to be unreasonable to ask for a livable wage. Currently, so the VNA, which is also under Yale New Haven Health, they agreed to pay the home health aides, which are CNA certified as well, over $16. But yet L&M, they still starting wage is $15.50.
Now, when you sit down at the negotiating table, you're there, Sue is there,
Yeah.
your attorney is there.
Yes.
Who's on the
Now
other
it's at
side of the table representing L&M?
Yale's, their L&M's attorney, Donna Epps, and normally it's their team. They have like directors, executive directors, and their HR team is there as well.
And obviously we're at an impasse. Would your side of the issue agree to arbitration or mediation?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
And has that been put on the table for discussion?
That has not been put on the table. We met again, the mayor organized a meeting for Friday. When we went to him, he said, this is ridiculous. Let's try to get you guys together. They're a reasonable company. Let's try to figure it out. We came to the table in good faith, you know, and then the mayor told us what to do. He said, in order for you to get this done, you're going to have to give, but you guys need to get a deal. We came to the table. We talked amongst ourselves for hours. We were ready to concede some items that we know we could not concede, but we had to do something. And their opening comment was, well, our last best offer will be our last best offer. We're just here because you asked us to be here. That's kind of rude.
No negotiating on their part. And we gave in on almost everything.
Except two things. Yeah.
Except two things that are most important, which are the starting wage, and we want an even percentage for step increases across all positions in our union. We understand there's going to be different amounts of steps because there's different certifications, different levels of education. The dollar amounts are going to be different, but we want the same percentage because we all work just as hard in our different positions, but work just as hard. We all need to be treated fairly.
Yeah, and then we also want health insurance affordable.
Now, I can't understand, for the life of me, you work for a hospital and you got to pay for your health insurance. Why wouldn't they give you health insurance for free?
Well, they used to give us a reasonable amount. When I started 19 years ago, it was, I think I paid $10. I did. I paid $10. They used to also help you with costs for your gyms. They don't do that anymore either. They've turned corporate. Our small community hospital is no longer.
You know, I bet you're a good negotiator because I can see you don't get excited. I want to reach around across the table. I want to pull a Meggie on them.
There have been some moments where I had to calm myself, where I had to literally go.
We all do, yeah.
Take a walk. But it's the frustration of knowing what you need, what you know members need, instead of what they want to offer. It's like, this isn't unreasonable. COVID has changed the game in healthcare.
As well as everything else.
As well as everything else. People are cleaning differently. People are sterilizing differently. People are on guard. People are cleaning the rooms that patients go in and out of. We are at a different type of health systems of taking care of patients and securing the building. Everything's different. So we're doing more with less. We have 130 positions open just for our union because you can't get people in that building for the money that they're starting people at. You just can't get them in there. So that we're overworked as workers because we can't get people in the building.
And it used to be the other way around. The hospital used to be one of the higher paid employers. They always paid better for PCAs versus the nursing homes. Every PCA wanted to get out of a nursing home and get into the hospital. You used to have to apply multiple times and wait because these managers had so many applications to sift through. And now it's the opposite. People are leaving us to go to the nursing homes. There are local retailers that are advertising at higher rates
Than
than
O&M.
what the hospital is offering. And our union is the backbone of the hospital. We clean the rooms, we serve the food, we sterilize your instruments, we bathe the patients, and that barely scratches the surface. You
Yeah.
cannot run the hospital
Without
without
us.
our union. All of our unions are important, but you literally cannot run the hospital without us.
We're the ones who start you and end. We do the registration from the time you walk in the door. We're the patient transporter to escort you out the door. We do all. We aren't the RNs, but we have the certified nurses assistants who are at the hospital called PCAs. We assist the technical union as well at their bedsides or table sides. It's impossible for you to run that hospital without the 900 plus of us, and it is 900 plus.
You were criticized in a few different areas, but one criticism from their side was that they wanted you to bring the proposal to the membership and you refused to do so. Has that been ironed out?
No, we didn't iron out. We as a negotiating team elected to move to impasse because the deal was not good enough to take to our membership. We could not have a deal that we couldn't accept to move forward to members. How do we get them?
Do you have support from your membership?
I do.
Yes.
I do. But there's always going to be a few. But overall, we do have support. We just had a informational picket yesterday, and we had over 100 of our members come out and support us at the main hospital, on both sides, on Montauk and on Ocean.
Connie, you're going to have that, and you're going to have a lot more at any given time. But I'm not so sure how that helps you. We need to get you guys back to the table and get this thing ironed out.
We totally agree.
They are, according to the day paper, they have more or less said, take it or leave it, and we're done. How do we get beyond that impasse?
Well, we still want them to come to the table, but they have to also concede some items.
Is there another meeting scheduled?
There's not another meeting scheduled. But that doesn't mean that there can't be another meeting scheduled.
We want one.
No.
Yeah. But we want one that they're going to come to the table and negotiate, not dictate. This isn't a dictatorship.
Give us something too, because we are giving in to you. We are giving in on things that our 80% of our members don't
Voted
want to
no.
have to give in on. But we understand that there are some things that we will have to give in on.
Right.
But they have to give in on too. That's what negotiations are about. It is a compromise.
Yeah. And I have to tell you, Murray, they're paying pennies. Their increases are pennies. You don't give somebody who has gotten you through COVID and so much more 50 cents.
It's got to be a livable compromise.
Right. It's insulting. That person who runs that hospital now makes over $1.2 million.
Who would that be?
Patrick Green. He didn't make it because of his works. He made it because of our works.
That's right.
It's on the back of us.
So back in the olden days, when I was around, when a group came to an impasse like it seems that you're at right now, it would be a case for the National Labor Relations Board. Is that still a point of order? And there's got to be some movement by somebody
Right.
to make things progress. Is that a possibility?
That is a possibility, yes.
And how would that work?
So if one side wanted, they can file a ULP for something that went wrong along the way. And by doing that, then you get the ULP is an unfair labor practice. So that gets filed, and then you move forward legally with what the next steps would be.
Now, you would hope you wouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
But at what point are you willing, how long are you willing to wait before?
We aren't willing to wait. We're willing to negotiate, but we're not willing to stop our process of what we're doing. And that includes letting the community know that this is not about the care we give or our commitment to our patients. This is about management turning this into a business deal versus rewarding their workers for their hard work.
So, I don't want to put you on the spot,
No.
Connie. I think they're hoping that you go on strike. I think they think you can be replaced.
Yeah, I don't think they think that.
Well,
Can't replace all positions. There are not travelers for every position.
Then what other rationale could Lawrence Memorial have for not meeting with you and ironing this thing out? I don't understand it.
We don't know.
They did the bully tactic. I'm strong and you're not. I'm muscle and you're weak. We're powerful and you are not. They don't understand. You're talking about people that barely can afford to pay their rent. The rents
Before the
have gone up.
electricity bill doubled.
Before the electricity bill doubled.
And food.
Exactly. We have
What's this deal where you have a food bank and you
There's a
got to
food
be on a
bank.
camera? What's that all about? That seems
So there's
Strange.
a food bank. Yeah,
Yep.
there's a food bank in the hospital. You know where the main desk is now? Right behind the main desk, there's a conference room. So they put the food bank in there, and the hospital doesn't contribute to that food bank.
come on.
They do not.
No, unfortunately.
Not at all. Not one penny. Not one can. They contribute nothing to that food bank. The food bank is for the employees, not for the community, just for the employees. And our employees use it. If you need it, utilize it. I also send our members to 2 other locations. They can pick up food at Shiloh, 3 other locations. They can pick up food at the VFW in New London. They can also pick up food at Gemma's, which is huge. I donate to Gemma Food Bank on Broad Street.
Tremendous lady, Jim. What can the community do, or what can anybody do to help you guys? I mean, I just don't know what we can do.
We are asking the community to stand with us. We are asking them to realize that we deserve to be paid a livable wage. We deserve health care. I have the health care for an employee plus one is $66 a week. 66. And I still have to pay for certain doctors that do procedures in that hospital. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. If I have procedures done at Yale, I don't have to pay the extra for the physicians. But L&M does charge me for certain medical groups. That's ridiculous.
Just how long have you been president of the local?
5 years.
5 years. And you've always done business with the new Lawrence Memorial Hospital.
Correct.
Yeah, but were you involved when L&M was L&M?
I was not president when L&M was L&M.
But you were working there.
Yes, I've been there for 19
And
years.
was there a difference in negotiations during those times?
Yes.
Before
Yes.
and it was civil and everybody somehow came out of it happy at one point in
Well,
time?
I think the difference is we're not meeting in person. So we're not seeing each other. We're not watching each other.
What do you mean you're not meeting in person?
We don't meet in person. We meet via Zoom. Even though they have this big room, bigger auditorium, absolutely not. We'll only do it via Zoom. And they're the dictators. So they dictate
And is that
when
because of
and how.
COVID?
I don't think it's because of COVID. I think it's because that's what they do. Dictatorship. We'll dictate when the meetings are and you'll take this. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. This is what we have and this is what you'll take. It's a dictatorship.
Where do we go from here, Connie?
We're going to organize another informational picket, and we actually had a couple of unions from Electric Boat that came over yesterday and that wanted to participate. They want to organize. They want to help us get more people at the picket.
Do you have support of the nurses?
Absolutely. 100%
And
of the
techs.
nurses and the techs. 100%. Absolutely. The nurses were told that they couldn't, the nurses and the tech unions were told that they could not participate unless they gave a 10-day notice. So they will give the 10-day notice the next time.
And when is the next informational picket?
We have to schedule it. We're sitting down Saturday with 2 other local unions to make sure, because New London, it has a lot of unions,
Oh, absolutely.
you know.
Union
and-
City.
Union City. So we're looking for support from those unions as well.
Susan, we're almost out of time for this segment, and
Sure.
you guys are welcome to come on at any time
Thank you.
and use the cable channel to get the message out.
Awesome, thank you.
Whenever. What would you like to close out with your?
I would like to say to the community, thank you, because we do feel the support from you. Whenever we see you for a procedure, or if you're inpatient, whenever we see you, you're appreciative, and we appreciate that. And we would like, any way you can, let the hospital know how much we mean to you.
How do we do that, Susan?
You can write Mr. Green, call Mr. Green, write letters to the paper, however you
Yeah.
are comfortable
Where's he live?
communicating.
Where's
to,
Mr. Green live?
Stonington.
Oh, in Stonington.
Even if you send it to his office at the hospital, however you're comfortable communicating the message, let the hospital know how
Yeah.
much we mean to you, and that we deserve a fair living wage, affordable insurance, and we should all be treated equally. Cannot stress that enough. We are the same union with different positions, yes, but we all work just as hard at what we do to create the positive patient experience.
Yes.
You cannot go anywhere in that hospital without encountering one of our union members. And we're
Yes.
all important. All 3 unions are all important in our own way. And the nurses and the techs have settled on, some of them think it's fair, some of them don't, but that's another story. But now it's time to be fair to us.
And she just said something key, and I know we're almost out of time. But Mr. Green alluded to the fact that they gave us a fair contract like they gave the nurses. That is not true. They end up giving the nurses over 21%. Over 21%. I personally get just over 6%. Just over 6.
Susan, Mr. Green knows that you need more money. This is a tactic that there's something behind this,
Yep.
and we don't know what the reason is, but Mr. Green is a smart man,
Yeah.
and he knows what he's doing is not the right thing. It's almost immoral. What L&M Hospital or New Haven Health is.
Yeah.
The whole place is crazy.
Yeah.
Everything is crazy today.
Yeah.
And he happens to be on that side of the issue, but he knows what he's doing is wrong.
Yeah.
I'm sure of that.
And it's an injustice. For Yale New Haven Health to be the largest health system in the state, it's an injustice for them not to offer affordable wages. That's what Martin Luther King and so many others fought for. And we're not going to back down. We need it.
You can't back down.
We can't.
With what's going on economically.
Right.
We can't afford it.
No way.
We can't afford a dozen eggs.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Right.
We'll see you again.
Absolutely. And ladies, I wish you the best of luck. And anything, there's not much I can do, but you have my support. You have a lot of people's support.
Thank
And
you.
I want you to know you have more support than you know.
Thank you.
And Mr. Green and L&M, let's put this thing together and go
Yeah.
back to work.
We need him to care about us
Yep.
just as much as the other unions in the hospital. He
Equal.
needs to care for us.
Yeah.
And you folks out there, if you're listening, when you find out about this informational picket, try to spend some time and join this union because they need you down
Amen.
there for what they're doing.
Yes.
And we're going to close out with that, and we thank you. We look forward to seeing you hopefully next time you come on here We'll talk about the contract you got. Marie, aye.
Thank
Reporting
you.
for the city Too Tough Today. Watch us on YouTube. Good night.